This one is from Harir, from the East Coast, mashallah. You mentioned about science in the Qur'an, and we live in a world obsessed with science. How are we supposed to balance the truth of science and its imposition on all other knowledges?
Well, okay, I would say, look, science is important, and I would never in any way denigrate science as such. However, a lot of science, if you read, I had to read a book when I was in college by Thomas Kuhn about paradigms. And he shows in that book how science always has these anomalies, and the anomalies often will create problems for scientific theories, and then a new theory will emerge. And so it's very difficult to latch on to something like science as an absolute, because much of science is what in logic we call saving appearances. For centuries, people were absolutely convinced that the sun went around the earth, and that's certainly how we experience it. Nobody talks about an earth turn. Like, they don't say, oh, what a beautiful earth turn. We still talk about a sunrise and a sunset. So that's the fitrah, right? But when Ptolemy wrote his book, the Christians actually believed that it was an apodictic proof, that it was actually a burhan qat'i, that it was an absolute proof for that truth. Well, when Copernicus came along with the heliocentric theory, he kind of undermined that. But even the heliocentric theory has its problems. It's not like these are absolute. It's the best explanation. It's the simplest, using Occam's razor to explain something. But it doesn't mean the Ptolemaic it's not also a valid theory. It is a valid theory. It's just no longer the dominant scientific theory. But people that study the Ptolemaic theory know that, okay, now I understand why people for 1,000 years believe that theory, because he does prove his things. He had to create epicycles and all these things to explain retrograde activity and things. I mean, the students here study that at Zaytuna. So how do I view it? I think they're both true. I think experientially we're in a Ptolemaic world, but I think in reality it's Copernicus is right. So this is like Sharia and Haqiqa. I don't have a problem with two. I can grapple with the both. I don't think they're contradictory. They're contradictory at, in their basic assumptions about the nature of the sun. Is it stationary and we're going around it, or is it going around us and we're stationary? But experientially, I can understand how one is true, phenomenologically, to use a big word, and how the other is true in that it explains a lot of things also. So I just, that's my feeling about putting too many scientific eggs in the Quranic basket. I think is very dangerous, because down the road they realize, oh, that's not true, and then, oh, so what, is the Quran not true? So and if God wanted, I mean, he could have revealed E equals MC squared, and then 1,000 years later people would say, oh my God, they got that way before Einstein. And actually there is an argument from a Turkish physicist that the theory of relativity is in the Quran. So I don't know. I'm not that adept at theoretical physics, so.